Hi, friends. Happy June. It is, well, first of all, I'm Rainy if you are unaware. But welcome back if you are an old friend. I'm going to try this vlogging thing for June. We'll see how it goes. We all know how my vlogs usually go. Well, maybe you don't because I never do them because I get like a couple of days into them and then I forget about them and then they never get posted. So I just basically don't usually do vlogs, but we're going to try it this month. The reason why is because I feel like I'm starting to get back into my reading mode. I feel like I was kind of in a slump the last few months and I wanted to get back into BookTube. And there was a really exciting readathon that I wanted to participate in June, and I'm starting a new challenge with another friend. So, all of that to say, I wanted to try to vlog again. So, let's talk about it. It is actually Monday, June 2nd, as I film this. Let's talk about the readathon that I'm participating in, and that is the June Journeys with Inklings readathon hosted by Kaylee over at Luminous Libros. That's a mouthful. um, the Inklings were a group of people in England, I think all Oxford people, I'm pretty sure. But the two authors that everyone I feel like is most familiar with that were part of this writing group, the Inklings, were C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. There is a whole big list of like who else was uh, officially in the Inklings and also like honorary members. All of that is on Kaylee's announcement video that I will link below. And then she also has a bunch of recommendations videos for each of her June journey prompts. I decided I wanted to participate in that because I really want to read more C.S. Lewis nonfiction and also just Tolkien in general too. And one of her prompts is basically to read the Bible, which I try to do every day anyway, but that brings me into my personal challenge that I'm doing with another friend, Alicia, from my FlossTube um, community. And she is Adventures of Stitching on YouTube. I will also link her channel below if you're into cross stitching. But we are going to be doing a chronological Bible in 90 days plan starting June 1st and ending, I think, like August 28th or 29th, something like that. So I bought a new NIV just reading Bible, thin line with the little tabby holes. But, and this is to like just be able to throw in my bag that I take to work. But I will also, and probably more often, be utilizing the David Suchet of Agatha Christie Poirot TV series fame. He has a version of the NIV on the YouVersion Bible app. So I am using that. So far, I've used it 2 days in a row. So there hasn't been much going on in my actual new little Bible here, but I am kind of following along when I get a chance. But it's kind of nice too when you're doing a 90-day Bible plan because that is a lot of reading. Uh, and it's kind of nice that when you're doing just mindless tasks, like I don't plan to listen to it like while I'm working or anything like that. Like I want to be focused on it. So it's either going to be while I'm cleaning that I'm listening to it or just doing my crafts because I don't really have to think too much for my crafts, but it gives me something to do while I'm listening to it. But also, I guess I could say if I was doing my crafts, I could just pick up my Bible. But so we'll see. I'm going to probably try to do it interchangeably. But anyway, we're on our second day of that. And I'm currently in the middle of the sections of Job that we have to read today. And it's like Job 6 through 27. So that's kind of a lot. And it's poetry, and Job is kind of hard to understand. I'm definitely utilizing David Suchet for this section. Um, but I also have a little notebook that I'm like going to write down questions or like further study points because I obviously like trying to read or listen to this much in a 3-month span of time. I don't have time for like any kind of in-depth Bible study plans. So I'm putting that all on hold until after the 90 days, and then hopefully I'll kind of have a desire to do some more in-depth study after that in the fall. So anyway, I am. We've started reading. The first day was 11 chapters of Genesis and 5 chapters of Job. Since it's chronological, this plan that we kind of found online has Job being kind of, after the first 11-ish chapters of Genesis, which is pretty consistent with the other Bible chronological plans I've noticed. And I think now we are going to be reading all of Job before getting back into Genesis, I believe. So that's a little interesting. But I've done a chronological plan before, so it's not crazy. But I'm kind of excited to read it like in such a short span of time. I think that will be really interesting, and so far it is. So yeah, that is what I am doing for that. And then also for another prompt in Kaylee's readathon, I started listening to the audiobook of Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis, and it is the second book in the Chronicles of Narnia in the publication order version, which is the correct way to read the Chronicles of Narnia, in my humble opinion. I am going to go because I've been already talking for 9 minutes. But yeah, I will check back in with you at some point this week and tell you how my Bible reading plan is going and what I have read for Kaylee's readathon. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Well, hello, I'm back. It is still Monday, I almost said January, June 2nd. And I just wanted to report that I finished my first audiobook of June. I finished, excuse me, itchy nose. I finished Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis, and I gave it 5 stars again, as I do, as I probably have all of the Narnia books, although it has obviously been a long time since I have read anything other than The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because the ending of this book, I kind of remembered it from a different one of the books. And I don't know, maybe I still am remembering the other book correctly, and there's just a similar scene at the end, but I was just, I thought this happened later. I guess not. And then, but there's probably a similar scene later on. So in Prince Caspian, we follow Prince Caspian. Okay, so first of all, we see the 4 Pevensey children again in our world, and they're all 4 off to boarding school, and they are sitting at a platform, and all of a sudden they start feeling weird magical things, and they all of a sudden end up back in, we find out, Narnia. But it's like hundreds of years after they had been in Narnia the first time. And through this, we find out that they are back to help out Prince Caspian, who we find out the backstory, and basically the Pevensies are back to help Prince Caspian overthrow his uncle. That's the ultimate plot of the story. And there's a whole lot of backstory to it. There's a whole lot of what's been going on in Narnia since the Pevensies have left the first time. And yeah, it's really cool. And I imagine that if one is not familiar with certain Bible stories and like just different Christian imagery, you may not get some of the symbolism and the imagery and things like that. But there's definitely, through all of the Narnia books, there's definite Christian themes and imagery and just like different characters representing different things. I think that I heard somewhere, probably in Kaylee's video, that Lewis did not really mean for this to be a specific allegory, but there's definitely a lot of Christian themes throughout the whole thing, which I enjoy. Obviously, as a Christian, I enjoy that. But I wonder if it would be lost on people who are not familiar with it. I don't know. That's something to like poll the audience about. But anyway, that was another 5-star for me. I enjoyed listening to the audiobook. It was read by Lynn Redgrave, I believe it said. And she did a great job. She the kids in the beginning are very childlike, and she did a pretty good job of, once they're in Narnia, making them feel more adult, even though they were never fully adults, but more regal. They feel more mature towards the end than they do in the beginning. So yeah, so that means that I have to pick another book, also probably audiobook, let's be honest. So I think I'm going to go with a nonfiction, and I think I'm going to go with The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis. There's going to be a lot of C.S. Lewis and in the Inklings readathon for me. So yeah, I'm going to try that one, and I actually should have read that one first if I was going in order of my journey, which I kind of thought I was, but I didn't actually look prior to starting. So I'm like, what I did, the Prince Caspian, I was like one ahead of where I should be. So I need to go back and read The Problem of Pain. So I know nothing about it other than it's discussing the question of God allowing suffering in the world. So yeah, that should be an interesting read. It will probably take me longer than a couple of days to listen to, though. So I will be back when I have any thoughts. All right, bye. Excited about it. Yes, I'm old school and I still watch DVDs. And a friend of mine in Kate Howe's Patreon group was looking to get rid of these because she had like another copy of them. So she sent them to me. So yay! I know what I'll be doing this weekend, at least starting them. Hello, friends. It is now Monday again, Monday the 9th. I have been keeping up with my Bible in 90 days plan. I have finished Job and Genesis. We're doing my friend and I, who are doing this challenge, are doing a chronological plan. So that means that you get into Job before you finish Genesis. Which, I mean, if you're not familiar with the Bible, Job is kind of far into the Old Testament, so definitely not in chronological order normally. So I've been keeping up with that. However, I will say I've been doing a combination of reading with my eyeballs out of this NIV Bible that I just purchased, and an audiobook narration by David Suchet, which he was Hercule Poirot. That's kind of what he's famous for. So his voice is very nice and soothing, and I like listening to it. And it kind of makes some of the more boring chapters of Exodus, which is the book I'm in now, kind of makes that go a little bit faster. So, but I do try to read at least a couple chapters with my eyeballs in the morning before I get into the audiobook. I started the audiobook for The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis, and I am about halfway through it. I will say that for me, C.S. Lewis and audiobook, at least for his nonfiction, I don't grasp a lot of it because he is very intelligent and his nonfiction is not at all like his Narnia books. It's definitely not made for children. So he uses a lot of very intellectual type words and imagery, and it's just very very brainy. So while I like it so far, I can't really pinpoint any points that he's made that I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. I feel like I should be reading it physically so I can make notes and highlight and just take my time with it more. But I'm going to finish it via audiobook since I'm halfway through, and then maybe go back at a later date and read it more slowly and take some notes and things. So that's what I've been reading for the June Journeys with Inklings readathon. Now I have a training this morning, that's supposed to last 2 hours, and from another coworker who has already taken it, he said it takes every bit of the 2 hours, and literally nobody wants to participate in this training in my office, but we all have to. It's mandatory. So I have that going on today, and it's an in-person training. It probably could be a Zoom training, but they're making us go in person. So it's not at my office. I have to go to a different office. So, so I'm probably not going to get too much of anything else done. Yeah, so there's that. So I guess I better get to work and get ready to go to this training that absolutely nobody wants to go to. And yeah, I will talk to you sometime. All right. It is after work on Monday the 9th, and even though I am extremely tired, I am not going to let myself sit down. And I am going to go upstairs and exercise for 45 minutes because I am starting the 75 medium. It's, if you've ever heard of 75 hard, I just found out about it recently. It's like a mental toughness exercise, reading, diet kind of a thing. And it's day one for me and my friends who are doing this with me. And I have to still do a 45-minute workout because I didn't get a walk in today because of that training I had to go to. So I will report back once I finish it. Guys, you can't really see it, but it's raining again. We have not had a single dry week since mid-March. My coworker looked that up today. It's really getting a little old. Yeah, we have some like nice days, but in general, it's just raining all the time. So first of all, look at the funny face that I put on Joe, that I paused on Joe. So I don't know if any of you have ever done a Grow with Joe workout, but I just did it was like 26 minutes, 2-mile walk with weights. And I generally use these 5-pound weights for things now, but I don't even know what weight these are. But man, that was even a lot for all the arm workouts that we did. So, and plus, I have a 12-pound weighted vest on. So I am tired. I'm going to do 15 minutes of stretching to get me to my 45-minute goal. And then I'm going to shower because I am gross. Hi friends, it is now Tuesday the 10th. And I didn't obviously film after my workout last night. I did do 45 minutes. Actually, I did a 26-minute workout, which was like the most challenging for some reason. I don't know if it was just like I was exhausted or if the workout was actually really challenging. But man, it wiped me out. And then I did like a 15-minute stretching routine. So probably a little less than 45 minutes, but I'm counting it as 45. But then after that, I was a sweaty mess and didn't feel like getting back on camera. So, but I will say that for my 75 medium challenge, day one, I did complete all the goals. I drank a 64-ounce thing of water, which I have filled up today and I'm working on already. But also coffee, so that's going to be a little later. Let's see, I did my 45-minute workout. What are the other things? I had a healthy diet, no alcohol. What's the other thing? There's like 4 things, and I can't ever remember what the 4th thing is. I took progress pictures the other night. And I read 10 pages of a book, which is why I came on here. I'm still planning on finishing listening to The Problem of Pain today, hopefully, at work. But I decided that, it kind of decided for me. My friend Victoria from Musical Bookworm and I are starting a buddy read of the other C.S. Lewis nonfiction, which is The Four Loves. And I could only find this um, in ebook form. So I am going to use my 10 pages a day on that book for a while. I'm probably going to read more than that because Victoria and I think, are going to try to read like 2 chapters a day. So that's probably going to work out to more than 10 pages. But I'm going to make sure that at the very least I read 10 pages of The Four Loves for my 40 by 75 medium challenge. So yeah, I think I'm going to end this vlog here because I don't want it to get like too extremely long. I know it's kind of a weird day to end a vlog, but on a Tuesday, but it just seems like an acceptable length, and I'm starting something new, so I figure I'll start a new vlog with the new book, with The Four Loves, and I finished the book of Exodus today for the 90-day Bible challenge that I'm doing. So I have now completed 3 books of the Bible, which, thank you, Audio Bible, because that wouldn't probably have happened if I had to physically read the whole thing. But yeah, Exodus is kind of a tough book at the end to get through reading wise. So I'm glad that I had the Audio Bible. But anyway, friends, that is going to be it for me for this vlog. Let me know if you're interested in following my 75 medium progress. I do kind of plan on documenting it, but if people are like really against hearing about that, then maybe I'll just do it on Instagram. I don't know. But yeah, I will talk to you in my next vlog, hopefully. Bye.